Greetings, friends. Welcome back to my kitchen. We today are going to make chocolate chip cookies because I don't know. This whole thing is dragging on a very long amount of time, and chocolate chip cookies make me happy, and we want to try to spread a little of that happiness. So I'm going to make a bunch of chocolate chip cookies today, and we're going to distribute them out to our neighbors, and we'll invite you to come along for the ride. So we're starting here with butter and sugar and all sorts of yummy things. I guess I'll aim it towards me and I'll hold it up. So first thing, we're gonna make 6 dozen cookies or so. So this may seem like a lot of butter, but we're gonna dump all this into our mixing bowl. That's the first thing. 4 sticks of butter, 2 cups, however you want to look at it. Yeah. And I'm sure that the noise of me unwrapping this butter is very professional, and maybe you'll enjoy it in some sort of ASMR sort of way. All right. So the next thing is adding sugar. Now the secret to good cookies, which maybe you know and maybe you don't, is that you have to cream the butter. And what I mean when I say that is before anything else gets added, we want to put a lot of oxygen into the butter. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to add sugar, and we're going to add brown sugar, and we're going to make that, we're going to whip the butter with those 2 bits of sugar. So I've got here 1.5 cups of sugar. Great. Excellent. Into our bowl. And here I've got, oh, well, that's a problem. The store was out of brown sugar, so I just have another 1.5 cups of white sugar, but I want brown sugar. So turns out brown sugar is just white sugar with molasses. So it's a little sticky, but I'm going to take a little bit of molasses here. So basically it's about a tablespoon of molasses per cup of sugar. For light brown sugar, if you're trying to recreate the light brown sugar look and taste. So I've got my tablespoon, and here is my 1/2 tablespoon. Excellent. And now I'm going to quickly clean all of the molasses that I just spilled on the table off the table before my wife finds it. Very excited. We're just going to mix the the molasses into the sugar until it's evenly distributed, and you start to really see, what you will see is like you're going to get a bunch of clumps of that molasses when you first start. If you really care deeply about it looking like brown sugar, you're more than welcome to throw this in the mixing bowl. Because we're about to mix everything all together, I'm not super worried about making the molasses be firmly compacted yet. I just want to make sure that it's not all clumped up so that it doesn't accidentally get stuck to the side of the bowl or something like that. So I have it now. You can see that white, yeah, there we go. That white sugar has turned brown. If I was trying to be more of a perfectionist about this, I would get some of those brown clumps out of there. But again, right now, the store was out of brown sugar, and this is just a nice little way. I would also just mention, as you're doing this, that literally anything that you can't find in the store, somebody online has figured out a solution for, of how to substitute out for it. Definitely Google around, because there's usually a substitution somewhere that can be found. Okay, so brown sugar into our bowl. Okay, so we're going to put 3 other things into our bowl before we put it on the mixing stand. Thing 1, pretty simple, pretty easy, vanilla. Yep, so we're going to do 2 tablespoons of vanilla. I use a really fun Mexican vanilla, but you can use whatever you like. And then the other two things we're going to put into this, which maybe are not typically part of your cookie making recipe, but I think add a really awesome flavor, are 2 bottles of liquor. You're going to need your parents' help maybe if you're under the age of 21 to obtain these bottles. But if you've got them in your house, I really think so of the 2, this is a Frangelico, which is a hazelnut liqueur, and this is Kahlua, which is a coffee liqueur. I really think only the Kahlua is necessary. Just so happens that we've got Frangelico, so we're going to use both. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of Frangelico. 2 tablespoons of Kahlua. And now we're ready to go onto the mixing bowl. So I will, generally speaking, I will let this mix on low speed for about 10 minutes, with just kind of continuously pausing and using the spatula to press it back down, just to make sure it's all completely combined. But we really want to be really light and airy. So let's say about 10 minutes or so. Okay, it's about 5 minutes into the mixing, so I wanted to show you the bowl. You can see we still have a couple big chunks of butter in there. You're trying to get rid of all of those. And also about 5 minutes in, I'm going to drop our eggs in. So we're going to do 4 eggs, just cracked right into here, and we're going to let those cream the last 5 minutes or so of our mix. Just checking in, and we'll be back when we're done with this. All right, so we our butter has finished creaming. It's a little bit on the wet side, a little bit wetter than I would like it to be, but listen, I've never made this exact recipe before, so who knows? So we've got our wet mix here. I've got here 5 cups of flour that I sifted in with a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. Fun little fact about baking soda. So the easy way to remember baking soda versus baking powder, what they do, look at the S and the P. Baking soda, S, we're going to put that in when we want the cookies to spread. Baking powder, P, we're going to put that in when we want the cookies to puff. These cookies are going to be very dense. We're going to add in a lot of nuts and whatever, so we want them to spread out a little bit so they're not quite as dense. Okay, so we got our flour and dry goods here. Of course, the most important ingredient for chocolate cookies, this is 4 11-ounce bags of chocolate chips here. And then we are also going to be adding in this nice mixture of nuts. At the bottom there, we've got chopped walnuts, then chopped macadamia nuts, and chopped pecans on top. Again, most decadent cookie of all time, can't just settle for one kind of nut. All right, so we're going to now add our flour mixture into our butter mixture. All in there, and then we'll stir it in just real gently. We don't want to overmix at this moment. We're going to mix once we have all the ingredients in. We're going to put it back on the mixer for a second. But for now, we just want to make it so that all the flour is mixed into the wetness of the cookie dough. So once you've gotten all the flour in there, you can still see flour, but it's mixed nicely in, and you can see the dough is just in the beginning stages of coming together. So now I'm going to add in the nuts and the chocolate chips. Woo! Right to the tippy top of my bowl here. Maybe we're not going to be putting it in the mixing can. All right, so. Hey, lots and lots of things everywhere. We're going to try, you know what, new plan. Okay, so we've done a little editing of the way we're going to do this. I've put everything into this larger glass mixing bowl, and now I'm going to use my hand just to knead the dough all together. So it'll start real sticky, obviously with all that flour extra around, and oh Lord, I'm going to get a second glove. So the new plan, 2 gloves. can really see it's coming together real nice. Okay, so we've rested our dough just to get it, again, we just wanted to build up a little bit more body to it. We're gonna now scoop out. You want your cookies to be about a quarter cup size worth of dough. It's about 2 to 3 ounces, depending on how dense you are. If you want to weigh them, so you take that amount and you just drop it right there on the baking sheet. We're gonna fill it up, and then we're gonna pop them in the oven. Okay, so we've got I've got 3 trays of cookies. That's just my first 3. I've got 8 per tray. You can see you want to give them a lot of space because they're definitely going to expand outwards because they're so tall. So 3 trays into the oven at 325, and we'll see them in a little bit. And here we are, about 16, 18 minutes later. We have some really gorgeous cookies. What you're looking for, I think, is to grab kind of that nice golden brown. Let's see. So what you're looking for is to be able to get kind of that nice golden brown on the bottom corners of the cookie and leave the top nice and kind of yellow tannish. And there you have it. So that's the first of what I think will be about 3 batches of those cookies like that. And yeah, the house is going to smell awesome. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Shoot me a video if you try making the cookies. I'd love to see how they come out. And we'll see you next week.